Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and today we're taking a quick look at the EHX Rerun tape delay. It's part of their Pico line of pedals, these really compact, cute little micro pedals that have a straightforward control set and just some great sounds packed in them. And I gotta admit, I had all but forgotten about EHX on the whole for a number of years now. They just kind of fell off my radar until recently, and they were kind enough to send over a box of pedals including the Rerun here, and I'm kind of awakening again to the reality that these guys are just legends, and they have continued to put out some really fantastic offerings across the whole gamut of the pedal array. They've obviously become known for their fuzzes and some of those classic circuits, but the way that they've continued to innovate and release products like this Pico line and this specific pedal here that meet a really great need in the market has been pretty impressive. And so I'm excited to dive into this one here. If you've got a favorite EHX pedal or one that you're curious about, drop them below in the comments here. And if you're new to the channel as well, please hit subscribe below so you can stay up to date on future videos here. But we'll dive into the Rerun here and talk a little bit about the pedal and then share a few different clips of sounds that I fell in love with as I was exploring Rerun. It's a straightforward tape delay style delay that gives you that nice warm rich magnetic repeat with some nice control and without getting too complicated or complex or really granular. So you've got 4 knobs on the face of the pedal here: a blend control, your delay time up in the top right, saturation control, which allows you to add some of that tape-like distortion or saturation to the repeats, and your feedback control, which will go to full oscillation, the kind of infinite feedback there if you want it to. You've got a single foot switch here, which also doubles as a tap tempo control. You simply tap it a few times in the rhythm that you want, and it will read the tap tempo for you. You can also hold it down and engage infinite repeats to send your delay into that self-oscillation, which is a really fun feature too. So they've crammed some of the best features for a delay pedal into this really tiny package. And so we're going to dive in and just show you some of the foundational sounds of the EHX Rerun. I'm playing a Gretsch Electromatic Premier Jet for this video. We're running a Greer Lightspeed into the Rerun tape echo here onto a Benson The Amp solid state amp solution going into my preamp and my interface. Let's check out some sounds from the Rerun. One of my favorite parts about Rerun, and one of my favorite parts about tape delay in general, is that wow and flutter modulation, the somewhat random and unexpected tape blips and flutters that you can get. And I think Rerun did a really great job giving you a few different options for that flutter right here on a button up top. It cycles through 3 different degrees of flutter or modulation that gradually increase the intensity of the chorusy modulation happening on the repeats. And all 3 of these modes are really nicely voiced and subtle enough to be able to have them in play. Very musical, very tasteful, and so you get to choose whether you want a more subtle flutter or a more intense, more prominent flutter, or a very mild amount of that in the Rerun. And so we're going to hear all 3 of those modes now. We've heard a lot of longer delay repeats in the video so far, but let's focus in on some slapback textures because that can be a favorite sound or use case for folks that are using a tape delay. So we'll hear how the rerun can be used with just a single repeat, a really quick delay time in that slapback type setting. And then also you can turn the delay time way down to minimum, crank up the blend control, and lean into that flutter setting to give you some modulation type sounds without any repeats. Let's check those both out now. So that's the EHX Rerun tape delay, a really beautiful example of that classic tape echo sound that gives you up to 3 seconds of delay. So you can go from those quick slapback tones all the way to the longer, more lush, ambient leaning textures with the ability to select the different flutter modes for some added modulation. Just a really awesome pedal, a really tiny footprint that can fit anywhere, and a pretty killer price point too. These are just over $100 new, and a really compelling option if you're wanting to add the tape delay sound to your setup. Thanks for watching. Again, drop any questions or comments you've got below here, and we'll see you on the next one.